Thoughts and Actions by Nicholas Brown. A short story. Hopefully, I might turn this into a novella, but for now, enjoy the short called Thoughts and Actions. Survival or deception. There's truth in movement. Flawed human beings with good intentions, yet so much room for improvement. A fool's fate diagnosed as divine intervention, blinded by beauty and feigned affection, which leaves open deceptions. It is to my latest recollection, a lesson must be taught. Never seek in humans perfection, because souls can be bought. The unbookish of persons utilize social understandings in the practice of duplicitous diversions and to execute what they are planning. The sun was high, adding warmth that rode sun rays which bore through the cool March air. A week before the spring equinox, the date was chosen for these two sets of loved ones to gather. Amongst the crowd were the uppity, street-smart, bougie, sedity, lonesome, petty, emotional, and most importantly, elite. All in attendance came from good stock or gained access to this level through their endeavors. The bride and groom's parental figures were third and second generational wealth, with them representing the fourth and third wave of black excellence. Nearly an acre in size, walled off by neatly trimmed hedges a story high. The large garden setting felt like Eden was rebirthed. In front of guests, bride and groom, the priest faced the crowd with a smile that shined like the top of his bald, bronzed head. He stood behind a podium posted between two Roman-style columns as tall as the surrounding bushes, yards to his left and right. We are gathered here today to join Governor Myron Douglas and Cicely Filbert in holy matrimony. Is there any of you who disagree? May they speak now or forever hold their peace. No one needed to make peace. Myron smiled as he continuously snuck glances at Cicely. He knew this day would come sometime after their second extended lunch meeting while on the campaign trail during his election run. Cicely's southern charms, sharp wit, and radiant smile only amplified the charisma she carried when promoting her soon-to-be husband. Her family's connections also played a part in Myron's win, since the Filberts knew every radio and television director personally. They made tons with Chick-fil-A stores as early franchisees across Virginia. The stations got a lot of advertisement dollars from the Filbert clan, so a little respect was shown. Do you take Myron Douglas to be your lawfully wedded husband? Yes, I do, she said. I can't believe I have this wonderful woman next to me in front of God and our families, making us something real, he thought. Myron shed some tears as Cicely nodded her head after her I do reply. In his mind, she only represented the greatness a good woman can help a man in love attain. Her curly brown hair came down to her shoulders, thick and lush without any flaking. She was always covered in heavy clothing during the colder months of the campaign run for governor. As far as he was concerned, in the first 6 months of working together and getting to know one another, she could have been a short, high-yellow chubby girl underneath the sweaters, loose-fitting business attire, and heavy mom jeans. How Cicely sounded when she encouraged him the way she didn't use much makeup, and how she smelled of star jasmine were the little things that kept Myron thinking of her while alone in bed. His curiosity was engaged through hints of her backside potentially being well-rounded as she commanded the office during the latter days of the campaign. The answer to this came when she dropped off paperwork to the office, running errands for Myron on her day off. Cicely wore olive green, loose, wide-leg pants that hugged her hips, and a small-sized cream-colored sweater that matched the wedges she sported. She was fully clothed with but her lower shins and ankles exposed, revealing slender legs and smooth skin. But her dense teardrop shape in back left those who saw this 5-minute display of doing Myron a favor unfocused as she exited. The way Cicely twisted looked like her lower cheeks were shoving one another with each strut. When she was out of view, every brother in there nodded their heads in approval. "I knew it," he thought when she turned to leave his office. It's time for the couple to exchange vows. Go ahead, Mr. Governor. Forever is far too long of a time, and we're only given a piece of it to enjoy, learn, and grow in. My portion of forever was filled with work, sights on the greater for God, my family, and community. And though I have many I can call loved ones, I was missing out on an important part that makes forever not only bearable, but unforgettable. No one has an infinite lifespan, and it's foolish to think you'll be forever young. But with you, Cicely, my wife, in less than an hour, you make growing old seem worthwhile. I found my other hand, so now we can count down our days until the end of time. I love you, Cicely. Myron's mother started sobbing in delight as part of the crowd went, "Aww." One of the single groomsmen said to himself, "I need me one of her type quick, 'cause that man done came up." Two women who were Cicely's childhood friends had trifling thoughts of flirting with Myron at charity events, or at least land one of his cousins, hoping to hit the jackpot too. As Cicely blushed from the vows, she thought about how much this was going to sting once she leaves his ass. In the middle of this grand gesture, she seen her friends from back in the day and figured one of them will get her scraps as always. She actually calculated how many days minimum for her to collect a large sum of money and set into motion allies in the future by having Myron openly reject donations or affiliations from divorce lawyers and judges. Cicely convinced this love-struck, pussy-whipped man that these types were bottom feeders she felt only carried bad karma. Who knows what child is without a good man around, all because some lady had a better lawyer or bitter man-hating judge, she said sometime before the snubbing. My Uncle T. Ellis lost half of his fortune because he married Aunt Louisa, and to this day we can't stand that woman because she came from nothing yet walked away with millions in her account. Little did he know, Cicely's uncle been estranged from her family before she was born. This stunt succeeded at two things. It got him the votes of many men across the state and pissed off a certain demographic. These folks in divorce and family courts tend never to forget headlines like "Destroyer of Dads" and "Killers of Marriage Rates." Cicely would give to their causes, and low-key acted as Myron's peacekeeper and naive girlfriend, which made them feel sorry she was with such a bull-headed misogynist. He gives good head, and that's all I can expect from him except that payday. His sex game is trash, and I'm not sure how many 5-minute nights I can take. I'm happy me and Blades are hot and heavy again. I know this his baby I'm proudly carrying because Myron always wears a rubber with me. Later on I'll let him in raw, finally. Let his simping ass think it's a love child. Luckily they both look alike in a way, so his goofy ass won't be the wiser. I shouldn't have left Blade, 'cause I wanted marriage right after college. He was still an assistant at that hedge fund and wasn't sure whether I wanted him or just in love with the idea of being married since my cousins got hit soon after they finished college. I miss his wiry yet cut-toned arms hugging me now. The contrast of his dark brown skin against my lighter tone was something I couldn't stop looking at. And I can watch him do pull-ups and push-ups all day, my God. While Myron just talks and talks on the phone and expects me to do all the work with his snicker ball of a ding-a-lang. I'm instantly wet thinking about Blades working my body, all long and deep and strong. He took time to know what I wanted. Myron acts as if licking it until I come is what counts. When I dated Blades during sophomore, junior, and senior year, I hardly reached for my toys. I see they'll come in handy whenever my man can't rock my ass to sleep. I do, she said. By the power vested in me, I pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride. The next day, Blades checked his phone, looking at the local news. He smirked at the picture of his girl marrying a man not smart enough to get a prenuptial agreement. He knows their schedules, and Cicely tells him when and where to meet. They're still together. Myron is just the mark in a long con type of lick that'll help jumpstart his own hedge fund. All he needed was liquid capital as a sign of good faith. Blades and some of the partners he works with will leave their current firm that's going to be hit by the FBI and SEC once certain practices are reported by an anonymous source 18 months from the wedding day. He and his lady love reconnected well before the wedding. The day Cicely went in, twisting in those olive green pants, dropping off paperwork, she slept with Blades. It was his idea to show off that body, knowing Myron seemed like the bookish type that only dated stuffy women his parents approved of. That man wasn't used to that kind of thickness, mixed with all kinds of brains and swagger to match. Blade's father was a branch manager of a credit union, and his mother taught middle school math. Up until his 8th grade year, they lived in the inner city until both parents finished college. They went on a part-time basis since having Blades while in high school, being fast and hard-headed teens. He understood street smarts and saw the value of an education firsthand. A year after his parents got their careers going, they put Blades in a charter school at the start of his freshman year. His near-perfect SAT scores got him into university, where he eventually linked up with Cicely. He loves Cicely with all his heart, but they know what must be done in order to set up their empire. A queen moves in multiple directions, so he must play his part until the checks are cleared and a divorce is final. Yes, Myron made her look good socially, but Blades knew what it took to make the world respect him, even if he wasn't from a powerful family. That kind of alpha energy isn't taught, and Cicely loved every bit of it. Let this be a lesson. Nothing is what it seems on surface. Everyone wants another person's life whenever success is attached to it. Money and power can make almost anyone's lives easier, but who's to say they're not in a situation no one wants to be in? This version of a personal hell would only lead to heartache for those blinded by love and lacking a keen sense or ability to judge characters and practice discernment. Be happy with where you are currently, especially when you have common sense and can always work on improving. So the question here is, will Myron catch on to this plot by Cicely and Blades? Or will the college lovers run off with a king's ransom to finance a future? This piece is dedicated to Michael Shepley. R.I.P. fam. If you guys want a part 2, please tell me. Or if I should just make this a book and offer it for sale, guys, let me know. Drop what you think in the comments, and I'll be sure to read them. You guys stay blessed. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Peace.